What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Trek Epidemic podcast. Joined by, as always, my good friend Dr. J. Hardner. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Absolutely great. We're talking about episode 12 today. We've got our resident Star Trek episode from twitch.tv/Craig every Wednesday through Sunday. Is that correct?
Yeah, Wednesday through Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific. And you just said our resident Star Trek episode.
Oh, whoops. Whoopsie. I'm an
Hey,
expert.
I would love to be an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Like a dream come true.
That would be great for our resident Star Trek expert. He would
But
love.
thanks
to
for
be an
having me as
episode.
always.
Yeah, no worries. We love to have you here. You bring a certain amount of knowledge and life to the podcast. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We've got the big goodbye. This is episode 12. Aired January 11th, 1988. It's a couple months later than the last one. I don't know why they split it up like that, but syndication was weird back in the day.
Mid-season break, probably.
Season break, yeah, for
Yeah.
the Christmas holiday or whatever.
Yeah, probably.
So this one starts off in the Hardar. I'm gonna have trouble with this one. Hardara.
The Haradas or whatever.
Harada.
Something like that. I already forgot what they were
I
called,
think it's
too.
called Harada. It's an insect race or whatever, and apparently they get offended really easily, and their language can be twisted. So it starts with Picard trying to get this greeting perfected, and he's really stressed out about it, like he's cramming for some sort of test.
Yeah, and then Troy's like, "Why don't you take a break and go to the holodeck or something like that?"
Now-
and he's like, "Okay."
Now, a few weeks ago, we were talking about how there's ship episodes, planet episodes, and now we're introducing another one. This is a motherfucking holodeck episode.
These are some of the best ones, I think.
These are
sometimes.
absolutely always my favorite ones whenever I get to see a holodeck episode. Because I remember back in the original series, they would just go to a planet that's like this, and that doesn't make really sense at all. But this one, they're like, okay, at least this is like a virtual reality thing. So that kind of I'll accept that.
In the original series, they're just like, this planet's a Nazi planet, just because. It's like,
Yeah, this is a mobster planet. This
Yeah.
is this kind of
That
planet.
Mobster Planet from the original series is a classic episode where they're calling guns heaters every 30
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah. I love that part in that episode when they're beaming down, and then the guy's like, "No, they can't do anything till they're done sparkling." Grab the heaters.
That's a classic episode. I watched that one with my dad one time, and he's like, "What the fuck is happening right now?" I'm like, it's a mobster planet. What do you want from me? So this one, he goes into the Dixon Hill private detective holodeck, and Picard loves this shit. He loves old school noir shit. This episode, in fact, is based on the noir films, The Big Sleep and The Long Goodbye. Just the title. They're not really similar. I've seen those movies. They're not similar at all. But so Picard gets in, and he's once you're in the holodeck, you're Dixon Hill or whatever, and he takes this case from this leggy Jessica girl,
Then she smooches him goodbye.
gives him a nice smoocheroochie.
well, and the smooch stays outside of the holodeck, which really, I don't understand how the holodeck works, but apparently it creates actual matter to some certain degree for that to work.
Yeah, I always wondered that because it's like I feel like, I would assume that things like food and stuff would be just because the holodeck works in Star Trek in conjunction with like replicator and transporter technology.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd assume that like food and stuff would just be regular food, but anything else would just be like regular holograms. But I don't understand. Yeah, how like the lipstick from the smooch stayed on Picard.
There's
It should
definitely
have disappeared.
there's definitely a surface level, haha, fun, old timey gangster episode, but then there's also a really weird, deep existentialist dread part of this episode that we get
Yeah.
into later on, and the lipstick really kind of adds to that a little bit.
Dude, I love the part when Picard is explaining to the crew in the in the observation lounge that he was like, I was there, the sounds, the smells, and then when I looked out the window, there was automobiles. The way he said it, and then Worf's like, automobiles, and then of course Data explains it, but the way Picard said it, he was so happy, like a kid in a candy store. It was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, so they're planning to do the greeting when the insect creatures show up. And Picard's like, wait, just let me go in a little bit more. And he's like, I'm taking this guy, Dr. Whalen, our resident history expert. It's like, who is this guy? Oh, he's gonna probably
No,
die.
he was an expert of fiction. I think it was something stupid. It was like the dumbest title in the world.
It was,
I thought it was
like
like 20th century history specifically,
Yeah.
like that
Yeah, it
era.
was something
and for
weird.
some reason, he's still on like an interdimensional like starship going throughout the universe. We really need that 20th century historian on board.
Yeah, and this is good because it's like at that point I'm like, I don't really want to see Dr. Whalen and Picard in this thing, and then Data enters with the silliest suit of all time, and I'm like, okay, here we go. Now this is gonna be good.
Yeah, when Data shows up, I'm like, oh, okay, good. We got something good here. And then they enter the holodeck, and then they're looking around, and Picard gets that newspaper, and he finds out that the chick that he took the case from was killed.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, where's this guy from? South America, talking about Data.
That's my favorite scene because they're talking about how Data's from South America, and the newspaper guy's like, it's a nice tan you got there. Because he's just fucking white as can be.
Yeah, and then the two dudes approach Picard, and they're talking to him. They're like, where were you last night? And then they look at Data and like, where's this guy from? And the newspaper guy's like, South America, can't you tell? Like he's an expert on where Data's from now.
Absolutely. So while they're in there, the insect people show up, and they're demanding a greeting, but only from Picard because he's the captain. And they're I really would have liked to seen the insects, what they look like, but you just get to hear their buzz buzz voice, their little buzz buzz voice.
It wasn't in the budget for the costumes.
Yeah, that's definitely the same costume budget. They're like, we won't show you our face because you've offended us by not being the captain. And then
I love when they're talking to Riker. They're like, we will not talk to you. No subordinates. We want the captain.
Later on, the captain does talk to them. Still no face reveal.
Just make
and then they scan the
mask.
ship or something like that, and that's when the episode really takes that left turn.
Yeah, so
they scan the ship, and then the friggin' it messes with the holodeck because you can see the
gets
holodeck
fucked
start
up.
spazzing out.
Dr. Crusher's joining the simulation. She's really psyched to be in there. And you see like the holodeck, like the doors are getting fucked up, and it's like, uh-oh, something's fucked up in here. And once that happens, shit goes down, and they cannot get out. And that's like a nightmare situation to me. Like putting on VR goggles and then not being able to get out. That's a fucking nightmare, dude.
Right.
One of the weird things with this, though, is like stuff starts to take a left turn as like, oh, the holodeck's broken, people actually can get hurt and stuff like that. But in theory, Picard and this history buff know everything about this book. And in theory, in the original book, the main character wins.
Well,
so couldn't they kind of figure out how to get through it relatively
that's the
safely?
thing, though, like things like they know about the book, but also things are going weirder. Like things are fucked up and not going correctly.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what I thought. I don't know.
I love though, like after Picard gets grilled by the police officers, he comes out of the little room, and Beverly's on the holodeck at this point, and he looks at her, and they're all up in each other's faces, and she's like, "Can I see your office?" And then he's like, "Let's go, baby." And then they're like, Data and the other guy are like, "Hey, can we come along?" And the look of disgust on both of their faces, like they were gonna bang, man. They were gonna bang in the holodeck in Dixon Hill's office, and fucking they ruined it.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
And they ruined it.
I like how much Beverly Crusher likes being inside of the simulation, and like he was enjoying the old timiness of it.
Yeah, she was having a good time.
Yeah, at least someone was.
She wanted to have an even better time, but
But
yeah, when they get back to the office, that's when the episode kind of picks up again a little bit more too.
Yeah, so Mr. Leach rolls up, and he thinks that Jessica gave him something before she was killed, and then it starts to roll out of control at that point.
Yeah, because they think they're all safe on the holodeck, but then what's his face, Dr. Whalen, right, or whatever his name was.
Dr. Whalen gets shot.
Yeah, and he gets all up in Leach's face. He's like, "Look, Leach, you ain't ever gonna get it," trying to play the role, and then he gets shot, and then he drops to the ground, and everyone starts clapping, like, "Oh, you did such a great job playing along," and then they're like, No, he's actually shot. It's like, what the fuck? Dude, the holodeck is one of the greatest but most dangerous freaking things I've ever seen. Because, like, think about it. It's like, it's supposed to be holograms, and you should be safe. But why do they even allow there to be safety protocols to turn it off? So it's like, if you want to get shot by a bullet, you can. You know, it doesn't make any sense. It's just like, you know, it's just
What
like,
do you mean you don't like to
why
go get...
does that even exist? Why is that a thing?
There's a cool warehouse down here that you can go pay a Filipino guy $50 and he'll chase you around and beat the shit out of you. So I guess
Jesus, man.
I guess there is like the option to do that.
Some people like the thrill, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, he chases you around with a mask, beats the shit out of you in a maze. It's really cool. So then back on the ship, Worf and Wesley are trying to figure out what the fuck's going on because they can't get the captain out of there. And Wesley's like, "Yeah, I don't want to fuck it up. They're going to delete them." Meh. Something.
Yeah, that was weird too. It was like when they finally figure out what's wrong, it's like they're like, "Oh, I don't know because I don't know what the risk is because it might make everybody inside vanish." And I'm like, "But why would the real people vanish? That makes no sense." Like
It's
like all the holograms would vanish. So is it going to vaporize the real people?
Yeah, I guess.
Again, it's like, why is the holodeck such like really dangerous technology, and why is it just like so like they have like 3 holodecks on the ship? It's like 3 murder boxes basically. It's like, why have them then? Like, maybe like you should refine your technology. I mean, it's the 24th century, right?
Yeah, so this is where it gets pretty weird. They start explaining to like the gangsters and stuff that they're actually not real. They're inside of a simulation. And,
Yeah.
And they don't really believe them at first, but then eventually Wesley gets the doors open, and he's like, "Check it out. It's a spaceship. Go on in there."
Yeah, they totally baited them into doing that. It's like, yeah, no, seriously, go outside, guys. No big
Definitely
deal.
Go outside. You're going to be completely fine. You're totally not VR that are going to vanish in a few seconds.
And then they leave the holodeck and just disappear because they're dumb and they didn't know they were just holograms.
But right
And
before
they're
that,
not lipstick.
yeah, they're not lipstick.
Yeah, the lipstick stays, but the people don't.
Lipstick is forever. Right before that, Wesley just makes it a snowstorm for some reason, and I don't really know what that's about.
Yeah, he like messed up the program or whatever. I think it was just like one of those things where they're like, well, we have this snow set, let's use it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is like, to me, this is like the craziest part when they take Waylon out, and then it's just Picard and the cop, and he has like this really sad goodbye to him, and it's like,
Dude, they got up close to. I thought they were gonna kiss.
I thought they were gonna kiss too, dude.
Is this it, dicks? Maybe. And then like when they start smooching, but like,
like,
they just hold hands
When
for
I
a
go
minute.
home, are my wife and children gonna be there when you turn off the machine?
I honestly don't know.
Why couldn't he just lie there? Like, who's it hurting if you tell the fictional? Like, there's gonna be a brief person where that hologram is programmed to feel the worst existential fear of his life as that door closes, and he wonders if he's going to die forever, and if everything he's ever known is going to die forever. Picard could have said, "Oh hell yeah, bud! You just get like put in a little box, and you're still living fine over there, and then I'll be back later on." But no, he's just like, let's just make him feel the terrible fear and pain that I can allow him to have.
Yeah, that's pretty terrifying stuff. But and I like a lot of this episode, but my favorite part is like the last 2 minutes when Picard gives the greeting, and it's fucking wild, dude.
And then they're like, "You honor us with our greeting," and then everybody on the bridge just starts clapping. It's like, what did they turn off like the communication device and like so everyone could clap? It just didn't make sense.
It's like one of those stories you read online where it's like, and then everyone clapped.
When the plane lands and everyone claps.
Yeah.
Damn, I hate that shit, dude. I get mad. I get mad when people clap at the end of a plane ride because I wish that it would have crashed and I wouldn't have had to live.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. So that's that episode. Jordan, why don't you rate this one first? Give your rating on this bad boy. The Big Goodbye.
I'd probably give that one like a 3 because the existential dread felt pretty real at times.
Yeah, I think 3.5. This one's pretty good. Holodeck episodes are fun. A lot of fun. What do you think, Craig?
Yeah, I'd give this a 3. I thought it was good. I mean, it was it had its moments, and had a couple funny moments, especially when Data was trying to do like all the "hey, wise guy" kind of talk and stuff.
Love
and,
when Data tries to do some wise guy talk.
yeah, that was pretty good too. So yeah, it was a good episode.
Data, to me, like Data in like an outfit is always like the funniest shit to me.
Yeah.
Just because of the way he looks is wild. So that's that episode. Thanks for listening, everybody, to the Patreon. Head on over to YouTube and subscribe over there. And head up over to movieepidemic.com and get some more good content. In ya.